any. Candace, you can show that there's a quorum present. Pledge allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Approval September 11 minutes.
Make a motion.
Second. Got a motion, got a second, all in favor? Any opposed? Motion carried. Approval of October 2nd board attendance.
Make a motion. I'll second.
Got a motion, a second, all in favor? Any opposed? Public comments? No. All right, we go to our discussion items. Fiscal year 24 state budget package.
Board members, Mr. Raby is I'm going to try to navigate a PowerPoint, and she's going to try to explain this to you. Give me just a second to get the PowerPoint, Ms. Raby. Okay, Ms. Raby?
Yes, sir. Hello, everyone. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to make my presentation virtually. I truly appreciate that. I do want to just pass what information we have received so far regarding the state budget package for 2023-24. And at the time that I put together the information to provide to Ms. Candace, the state budget package was not final. At this point, my understanding is that everything has been finalized and we're really just waiting to receive all of our final allocations back from the state and as part of our final budget package. What I had hoped to do on today was just to give you, as a board, some of the pending budget initiatives, which are now actual budget initiatives, and just to point out some of the key areas that apply to us as an LEA. The first thing that I have on the PowerPoint under pending budget initiatives was under section 7A, that the budget package includes an employee salary increase, which averages about 7% over the biennium, with 4% of that occurring in fiscal year 2024 and the remaining 3% occurring in fiscal year 2025. With that anticipated increase, there is a caveat to that, and that caveat comes in regards to our teachers' salary increase. The budget package for this year gives larger raises to our beginning teachers, with raises decreasing as years of experience occur. So specifically, our beginning teachers' pay is set to increase from $37,000 per year to $41,000 per year. And this will happen over the next 2 years. This equates to an overall increase of 10.8% for our beginning teachers. However, for our teachers with 15 years or more of experience over the biennium, the salary increase that has been put in place by the state will equate to only about 3.6% increase for those who fall in that category. And that probably comes to close to about $180, give or take a few dollars, and that's before tax. So while there is a 7% increase for the most part, it does not actually equate to 7% increase for our teachers who have 15 years or more of experience. In addition, another pending budget initiative is our small county and low wealth signing bonuses for teachers. Each year we do get funding to give bonuses to our teachers for small county and low wealth communities. However, this has been implemented for signing bonuses for new teachers. And these will be any teachers who have come on board as of October 1st of whatever year it applies to. This bonus does require that we provide a one-to-one match. So if the state gives us $1,000 per teacher, we have to use our county funds to fund a one-to-one match for that for an additional $1,000. The third budget initiative we have is section 7.8.6, and this requires that pre-K ADM is now included in the calculation of the ADM for principals school. In the past, the ADM did not include pre-K, and I believe the conversation was had that if the principals are responsible for those pre-K, then they should be given credit for those pre-K. So beginning in fiscal year 2024, pre-K students will count towards the ADM for the schools. Then we have section 7.8.10, which provides not only the 7% over the biennium increase for our bus drivers, but this also provides an additional 2% average for those bus drivers. Section 39.26 just lets us know what our employer contributions will be for this year coming up and actually the next 2 years. Our retirement rate will see an increase of about 0.07% over last year, and then a slight decrease going into fiscal year 2025. Our medical rate will experience a decrease from last year of about 3%, and then we'll see a rise occur back in 2025. Are there any questions on anything on this first page for pending budget initiatives? Okay. If not, I'll go on to the next page that contains just a few more pending budget initiatives that's contained in the package. There will be funding for CTE grants for home building programs. That's new and it's recurring funding if that's something that our school chooses to participate in. Teacher assistant tuition reimbursement, that's something that has been in the budget for a while. I just thought that it was worth mentioning as an opportunity for our TAs if they wanted to pursue a higher education. 758, eliminate student copay for reduced price meals. 768, which is really big for the finance office. The state will allow us to change our daily deposit amount from $250 to $1,500. And that's really key for us because we have been challenged with the closing of BBT in Trenton to having to go to New Bern every day to make deposits. So this will be a huge help for us in not having to make those daily runs to New Bern and back. And then 7.83 just clarifies minimum service requirements for those who would participate in paid parental leave. And it just discusses if that person has prior service, state service, even with another agency, and whether they qualify or don't qualify for paid parental leave. So there are a lot of parameters around that, but the budget is going to spell that out in detail for those who would participate in that program. And that's really it that I had to pass for just key points for the state budget. If anyone has any questions, I'd be glad to try to answer them at this time.
Mr. Watson, any questions?
There's a lot of, I think, pretty good news from what I was hearing, and some not so good news. But what really caught my eye, and if it's what I think it is, it's grants for home building, the home building program. If we choose to accept that, is that what I think it is? Where we have a construction class or something, they build a home, or because
Yes, sir.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know you were still with us, Miss Reed. My bad. You know, I'm a dinosaur when it comes to electronic stuff. But great. And I know that might be minor to some of the other things to y'all, but that was always a big thing to us when we were in school. All right, thank you, ma'am. That's just something that stuck out.
Ms. Griffin?
Don't let anybody.
Ms. Field?
No.
Ms. Bird?
Thank you, Ms. Raby. We'll be back with you later on.
Okay, thank you.
Department update.
Let's see if I can get in there. Board members, you have, let me see if I can exit out of this thing first. Okay. So board members, you have with you an outline of some of the things that each department is working on. I've read through it and I know you will need some time to look through it, but there's a whole lot going on and all the different departments that we have, you get updates what Victor's doing, Tim's doing, and then our safety and student support services as well as HR. So if you were to have any questions about any of that,
Must be the law.
please don't hesitate to reach out to me and we'll get
All right.
information to you.
And Tim is still working on the stuff for the gas tank, right?
They're still, they're still working on that.
Mr. Walsh, any questions?
No, sir.
Mr. Griffin?
No, it's done.
Mr. Young?
No.
Ms. Curry?
No.
All right. Parents' Bill of Rights.
Mr. Nolan's going to give us some updates on the parents' bill of rights.
Sure, quick update on that. And following along on Ms. Raby's excellent discussion of the budget bill, one other aspect of the budget that has now become law, I believe as of today, is that some of the deadlines in the Parents' Bill of Rights have been extended until January. In particular, the just pulling it up now, some of the areas that we talked through before about some of the policies and some of the procedures to be adopted now have been pushed through back to January. Some of the other requirements are still in effect. We have not, as far as I'm aware, the district has not gotten feedback yet from anyone about the proposed policy changes. I think you'll recall last time I talked about one of the requirements of the law is that there be an opportunity for stakeholders to engage with discussion about parental rights. So what we communicated with staff about is posting affirmatively something on the website. There's currently a listing of parental rights on the website, which is also one of the requirements of the law. I was glad to see that went up quickly. But we talked about posting something with an email address for people to give feedback if they want for the next month regarding these rights. And then at the next board meeting in November, coming back to the board for a second read of the adopted policies.
So we need Mr. Parker to create an email address that they can send responses to, and then we
Either that or it could be just someone designated to receive them, or it could be a creation of a new email address. Either way, just something that can encourage people, if they have feedback, that's a way they can communicate it.
so they can send it to Candace or that would suffice. Okay.
Ms. Brady, questions? Good. Ms. Young?
No, sir.
Mr. Griffin? Mr. Walsh?
No, sir. Thank you.
Superintendent update and comments.
Okay. All right, superintendent's update. We have met as a central office staff. Our principals, our elementary principals are meeting with Jackie Jethro on October the 16th, and we will have all of our strategic plan stuff in place by then. I don't know if you remember or not, but if you go to the Jones County webpage and click on strategic plan, let's see. I will show it to you in just a second. I'll finish through this. But you can go to the strategic plan. You can see the goals. You can see the updates that we're working on, the targets as we're doing that. And so I want to make you aware of that going forward. So that's in process. The other thing I wanted to mention to you is we still have one local performing school, and that is Trenton Elementary. There are timelines that we're required to meet in order to comply with what they ask us to do for low performing schools. And so at the next board meeting, Trenton Elementary will present to you a plan for improvement, and you will, once it's presented to you, we will post it. Parents in the community will have 30 days to review it, and it will be December before it's voted upon. And so I just wanted to make you aware of that process. We went through that last year when we were low performing district. We'll just have to go through that this time with Trenton Elementary. We will also be required to send a letter home to parents, which we did last year. And so Mr. Noble will have to do that at Trenton Elementary, but you'll get a copy of that letter as we move forward with that. Any questions about any of that? Okay. I believe our county commissioners tonight, we carried the letter to them regarding funding. Hopefully tonight they will discuss that. And we hope for favorable outcomes. There is a bill in the budget about creating a 22 credit graduation plan where students can graduate in 3 years. And we are supposed to meet with Senator Michael Lee, Superintendent's Office, by webinar on Friday at 10 o'clock. You got to realize if a student goes through there in 3 years, there's a lot of CCP courses and things like that, and electives they won't have the opportunity to take, and if we get them through there in 22 credits in 3 years. And so the majority of the superintendent, all of the superintendents, when we speak to Mr. Lee, are going to be, not able to doing that because we realize how that will hurt us. And so
It costs a whole lot of ADM.
absolutely. So, I'm assuming y'all have been aware of what's going on with the High School Athletic Association. I know Mr. y'all and myself, being a long time involved in athletics, we're a little dejected with that. But anyhow, we'll keep our fingers crossed and hope that things improve in that arena. Our schools are operating smoothly. You're going to get an opportunity tonight to hear from our principals about their school improvement plans. We are in really good shape, and we're thankful for the work that they've done leading their buildings. And so look forward to what they have to say to you. And I want to mention Ms. Raby will come back to us to get approval of a budget amendment. She's done a fabulous job integrating in with our staff. And we're just thankful for her and the work she does in her department. So as a superintendent, everything is moving forward positively, and we are thankful for where we're at, and we're thankful to our staff for getting us there. Yes, sir.
Any questions, Mr. Walls?
No, sir.
Mr. Griffin?
No.
Mr. Young?
No.
Mr. Bird? All right, we're moving to our action items, school improvement plans, Comfort Elementary.
Janelle, so Miss Higgins is not with us tonight, and so Janelle is going to kind of step in and on her behalf for that. But you have a handout which outlines the school improvement goals for Company Elementary. Anything you want to add to it, Janelle?
No, I mean, you have it there if you have a question. She also had sent me a handout of some of the strategies they're doing. It's just continuing the things they did last year, just building upon it, making sure that they're doing intentional PLCs, using their resources, focus groups, and using their data to make all the decisions. So, do you have any questions about the goals that she has in front of you? I'll be glad to go answer them.
Maysville.
I did bring copies if you guys would like another copy. Okay, you have them. Just want to make sure. I'm glad that I'm here and I get to stand up in front of you guys proudly representing Maysville Elementary School because we are where we are because of hard, intentional work that was done last year. So I'm very proud of my students, first and foremost, and the staff for the hard work that they did from bottom to top, top to bottom. So we're very pleased. And so what we did was took that same approach with creating our goals for this year, which is very black and white in the essence, in the sense that it takes numbers very easily to look at that and say we have 79 students in our kindergarten, first, second, and third grades. And what we would like to see is at minimum 55 of those students proficient. Obviously, our goal is to exceed that 55, but that 55 would put us in a very sweet spot if we reach that. And same thing for improvement goal number 2 is that we have 59 of those students in 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade. And out of those 59, we're looking for at minimum 42 of them to be proficient in reading and math on their end of grade tests. We're looking at making intentional planning time for staff. I have made sure that they have that throughout the day, and consistent MTSS remediation plans. So we are taking that data and really using it to drive our instruction. HMH has stepped up their game, with regard to some of the resources that they now have in place, which is really good stuff. And so we're using some of that to drive our instruction along with the other all the resources that are at our fingertips. So, and then last but not least, our staff wanted to add a 4th goal to it. We thought we were good to go with 3, but they wanted to add a 4th one as far as more in-house, and that's looking at technology and making it comparable across the board, where we have some that prefer this piece of technology over this piece, and then, we have things that we're kind of moving out and picking up new stuff. And so we want to kind of make it consistent across the board. So that's one of the things we're really going to work on. And that's going to be intentional on their part to say, okay, I need to let go of this piece, even though they're kind of not wanting to let go of that piece, but to recognize that they need to step forward. And so we're really working on doing that in our building. Do you have any questions for me?
Thank you.
Well, thank you.
Possible.
Good evening. I'm Stella Downs, principal of Hollisville Elementary School, learning yet another elementary school in Jones County. Our goals are pretty straightforward on our composite scores from our EOGs. We want to go from 72% from this past year to 73.5% for the new school year. I tried to convince my staff to go with 75, but I could not quite get them to go up that high. They were much more comfortable with 73.5, so we're going to go for 73.5. They said if we get to 75, all the better, but they just felt more comfortable in the goal at 73.5. In our M class, in the lower grades, we want to be able to have our reading literacy move from 62% from this past year to 65% for the forthcoming year. And then we have a opportunity gap for our Black students at this time, and so we want to work to improve the performance of our Black students by 10% to help close that opportunity gap, and then that also would contribute to the first 2 goals as well, if we're able to be successful in doing that as well. Any questions? Thank you very much.
Trina Elementary.
So Mr. Nobles is not with us. His wife is getting a national award, and he is going to
You have her go.
recognize him. So Janelle is going to share.
Again, you have the goals in front of you, so I'm not gonna necessarily read them to you unless you need me to. If you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer them again. A lot of the strategies, since it is a low performance school, we are working closely with Mr. Noble and with the staff. We put a lot of extra resources there and support, and so we're making sure we're focusing there, so.
Josie High School.
Good evening. Board, the superintendent. Thank you for letting me speak on behalf of Jones Senior. You notice in our goals, when we created our school improvement plan last year, we created a plan for 2 years. So our goals look much the same. We've actually already accomplished the one about the 52%. We increased 10% last year to 58%. And when you look at our school performance goals, it's a little bit different than the elementaries because we have a lot more factors. And in addition to EOCs and EOGs, we also have ACT, work keys, and graduation rate. Very proud of our graduation rate last year, 96%. Our work keys went up 26%. And they all kind of factor in there differently. You just kind of got to look at the equation, see how everything really shakes out. Very pleased with what we did last year. We did a lot of work around behavior and attendance. Thus far, at this time last year, in terms of behavior and work we did with Spear, this point last year we had 258 tardies and 68 referrals and 32 merits. As of today, we have 20 referrals and 91 tardies and 27 merits. So we're really starting to see the work that happened last year really kind of flowing over into this year. We knew we were getting the Spear out there when parents started speaking it back to us when we called and when they had questions. Also very excited about, as I said, the graduation rate last year. We knew this senior class was going to be the class we've had that's had the most adversely affected by the COVID years. They were 8th graders when COVID started. They entered the building, all the various caveats. So the stress that has been on this particular group of seniors, we knew was going to be hard to get them across the line. It's also a small class. It's only 50. We started with 55. So that denominator and that numerator and that grad rate really plays a role. But I'm very pleased to say that we had lost 6 kids at the end of last year that were going to be dropouts. We pulled 5 of them back into the building through individual graduation plans with the help of our counselors and Dr. Cleveland and another student actually re-enrolled in the district next to us. So we pulled 6 back, so that's great news. Every one of our seniors will be CTE completers this year, so that means they will all walk across the stage with some type of credential, and that means they'll all be in the numerator and the denominator for work keys, so that should help us there. Any questions?
How many do you have graduating in December? Early graduation?
Oh gosh,
Just out of curiosity.
it changes based on the day and how things are going. We started with, there was 10, and then we've been up to 15, but I think we're back down to about 12.
So somewhere in between that.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Which is 20%. Yeah.
Okay.
Any questions?
Mr. Lawson, anything?
No.
Mr. Griffin? Ms. Field?
No, sir.
Mr. Bird?
Part of it.
I do have just a couple things, as we don't get all the leaders in the room, principal, superintendent, board members, at the board. I can sometimes come off as not thinking on reality, or people don't know how to take me. Even this week, Billy said I was a know-it-all. I thought maybe talk to my wife, but
Did I say that?
yeah.
And we
I didn't know I said it out loud.
We don't have to talk attention.
but he did. But no matter what, one thing is true about me is that I love Jones County, and 2, that I got a heart for kids. So when I saw that we was a low performing school district, we had some hard conversations. I met with Dr. Big Penn. I met with Miss Gillis, and I know she didn't like it. She said probably some bad things when she went home about me, but that didn't matter. But again, I think as Jones County grows, and you can see as Cal is in at the county manager, good things are going, we're growing, and we don't need to be a low performing district. And as I look at these school goals, I look at these, and for one, you need to be congratulated. I think for this, and often you don't get that, because I immediately ran to you too when things were bad. But again, I'll get the chance to see everyone, but again, you need to be congratulated. And as you can see, we're one of the best school districts in the area. There's one that, again, I always think things that I think should have been up here, but we don't like to compare what they are our neighboring county, and that's Carter County. To be the best, I think we got to be able to beat the best. And I do, and it's just me. I'm crazy enough to believe that we can be as bad as Jones County. Carter County. And I know Ms. Field might disagree, because of economics. I don't believe in economics because I have seen some poor valedictorians. But there's one piece that I see, and I think it's starting to catch way even with the Parents' Bill of Rights, and that's parent involvement. I would like to see these school goals with some type of parent involvement increase. I see Mr. Parker fix the attendance, how you require the parents to come, parent involvement. Again, I had a principal one time tell me he don't stop all the fights at Jones County. I laughed in his face. And he did for 2 years. How did he? He had all the parents in the gym and he told them his plan. Parent involvement. Mr. Noble, at my son's darkest moments, was in my house. Parent involvement. And I just think that these goals got to have some type of parent involvement in knowing the Jones County way. My boss lady sitting here tonight. We need a bus driver. She stepped up and was a bus driver. That's what we need in Jones County. But I do think if we can get some type of way of parent involvement, we will see a big change. And I would like to see some type of goals implemented for parent involvement. And our lawmakers have caught on. Again, this Parent Bill of Rights calls the board to have some parent involvement things put in place. And I just think that's the X factor. And I just think that's how Carter County gets advanced more than anybody in the state. Yes, money has some things to do with it. But as you can see, it ain't a lot of poor folks in Jones County. And I could prove that to you. But again, I want to mostly applaud y'all for these efforts. And again, as you heard Mr. Parker say, our graduation rate, this book is published every year for each county. We was ranked 76 last year with a graduation rate of 85%, 96% this year. That's to be applauded. And that says something about Jones County Schools. But again, thank you for what you've done and thanks for getting out of that local form district.
I must speak at this time.
Thought you had nothing to say.
May I please?
Yes.
Carteret County, as a coach, and it's the same thing with, when you're looking at academics. They have a lot of numbers, and when you throw in a lot of numbers, the percentage oftentimes will come up. And that's what makes us look as we do sometimes. Now, as a former product of Jones County, have I seen so much advancement since I was here? My Lord, there's no comparison. And a lot of people in this room has made a difference, I can tell you. And some of the foreign ones also. But now, when you look at sports, I'm not saying we're not as good as they are. But when you got 10 kids to come out for basketball, and you got to have 10 to practice, and each Carteret's got 30 to come out for basketball, and I, pick and choose, who may be more athletically talented. It does make a difference. So it depends on what you're looking at. And of course, I'm an academic person. I believe we can do anything we want to do, and we've proven it. We're progressing every year. I'd like to see that continue. Thank you, Rick.
Good. Good.
Appreciate the challenge.
All right. Budget amendment number 3.
We want to go up. Somebody open the door for us.
We need to approve.
We got.
to approve.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Both sides.
Yeah. I need to approve those action items. The school improvement, got a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Got a motion? Got a second? Any further discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carried. Thanks, David.
Okay. Ms. Raby, are you?
I'm here. Can you hear me, Dr. Dickens?
Yes, ma'am, we can.
Okay. I'd like to make the presentation to the board for consideration of approving budget amendment number 3. And as you can see on the first page of the budget amendment, At the very top, it reflects a net decrease in our budget from the prior month's budget of $14.0235. That net decrease in our budget is the result of changes in our federal funding and changes in our grant funding. Attached to the budget amendment number 3, there is the detail that comes with it. And if you could look on page 3, the very last page of the details, you'll see the specifics of each of those changes. For Fund 3, the budget adjustment reflects a net increase of $15,043.83. And that net increase is a result of us receiving carry forward funds of the remaining ESSER funds that we were allocated for our summer programs. Those funds will be available to us through the summer of next year. And then after the summer of next year, they will expire. But we anticipate spending the remaining allocation that we have in those funds. And also, if you look down at Fund Source 8, you will see a net decrease in the budget of $16,446.18. That net decrease is the result of the reduction in our budget for our ROTC program. At the very beginning, when we were doing our planning, I anticipated that we would have that program going into this year. And Dr. Parker informed me around July or August that we would not have a ROTC program for this year. So that adjustment is us reducing our grant anticipation by the amount that we would normally have budgeted for our ROTC program. And in addition to that, we had a few other small decreases in small funding and some increases, the biggest increase being in our school nurse fund initiative. And those are the grant funds that we received from the health department for our school nurse programs. At this time, if there are any specific questions, I'll be glad to answer.
Mr. Lost, any questions?
No, sir.
Mr. Griffin?
No.
Ms. Field?
No, sir.
Ms. Bird?
No.
Get a motion.
Make a motion.
Second.
Got a motion, got a second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, Ms. Ravy.
Okay, thank you all. Appreciate it very much. Have a great week.
You too.
Yes,
Thank you.
ma'am.
All right, bye-bye.
All right, public comments. Anybody sign up? You sign up?
Would you like a clipboard, man?
You want to sign up?
Well, we gotta sign up. I think we all need to sign up. Because we all have something to say, yeah. I'm sorry, we didn't know.
I did.
Look, hey, excuse me, just a second. Don't apologize for coming in here. We've given a second opportunity for public comment because everybody can't be in here at 5:01. And so don't apologize for coming in here. You, this is your school system.
I'll just use it.
Okay, gotcha.
Had to do that.
It's 6:15, but can I reconfigure?
We got to put a sign up sheet at the door. We need to ask, like,
He's in the copier room because I sent first.
So what's big news? I know it is, but John Mays going to go to do that to us. Cause he's getting like that. It's gonna go in the car. You think it would?
No, that building, he's finna use that for a golf cart.
I was scared.
Okay.
you got anything to catch a break?
Oh, that big. See, you hold that or something.
Yeah, he's finna put $20 million in this place.
You want to see the camper? One of the houses he has.
Did you want
I went to, I stepped up on.
That's what I want.
I mean, no disrespect. I know him and
I called the shit, but shit. He's from 80 on there now. It's for himself.
he's gonna do it. Airbnb's out there.
Yeah,
It's not just I was in the
Really nice.
yeah, I'll get taxes.
Yeah, we'll get some personal property tax. Won't be like off, but we'll get tax.
What's on that sign up sheet? What you got on there, blood type?
I don't know.
It's good.
We didn't know there was somebody staying in that camp.
Yeah.
And so we must have left over there early Saturday morning. So we burned his house down. We talked and everything. I said, thank you, appreciate that.
That's the guy that's gonna be managing the camp now.
Yeah. There's a lot of people staying in these campgrounds.
Everybody good?
There's the name, sir.
Yes. Is it Miss Kaiser?
Crazy?
Crazy? You up, just let you know you have 3 minutes, the board, for your comment. This is the time that you can make public comment to the board. We generally don't respond to your comments, but you do have 3 minutes.
Okay, so I'm gonna start, tell me when to stop.
It's on you.
Okay, start. My name is Nona Cruiser. I live at 4495 Wiseport Road. I am a member of the Wiseport EMS. I am also your CERT president for Jones County. I am also a reverend in the North Carolina Pentecostal Holiness Church organization. I also am a foster parent. My children go to Jones Senior and Jones Middle School. I would invite every one of you, I pay enough taxes on my farm at 4495 that I think we can afford every one of you guys to attend Monday, if at all possible, lunch at Jones Senior and have lunch with our children. I would like to offer y'all the same bull mess that our children get to eat. Our children were so excited that from all walks of life that they were going to get food. They went to school on the very first day, come back horrified about allowing me down to get to a refrigerator. I said, for the love of God, what did y'all get to eat? And I was like, we do not know. It was supposed to have been a burger, but apparently it was a veggie burger. I said, well, how do you know it was a veggie burger? Well, because it tastes like broccoli with some fake cheese and some stale wheat bread. Didn't even have ketchup to cover it up. That's what they were offered. No big deal. But every day, I will provide lunch for my children. But what about the children that can't get lunch provided for? I understand money. I understand. However, Jones County, there's other counties. I can do some work up. I can get some recipes. So we don't cook at the school is what I hear. And that's the reason the food is so bad. So then the kids that do, like our kids, have to take a lunch. They have to stand in line. And then I have children that come home that never even get to eat. Why do they not get to eat? Because there's one little microwave in the school. Oh, there's a couple in the staff lounge, but there's one for these children. There's one. Excuse me. Do I need to write a check? Because if I need to write a check, I'll write a check for some microwaves. But where's that coming off of what my taxes pay for the school system? Where's that come off on all the people I work for on the EMS and CERT and everything else for this county? Why do our kids have to stand in line, be bullied when they can't even heat up their lunch? That's the problem I have, is what they're being fed and the lack of microwaves. The other thing that I wrote on my list is Dr. Parker and I talked about it today. No offense, Dr. Parker, I think you do an outstanding job. However, don't call one kid out when you have 100 more walking around in the same outfit. When you send out these things that we had to fill out, I had to fill them out 4 times, y'all. I said, if they come back to my house again, I'm gonna scream about how school uniforms, no hoodies, girls can't be showing their legs and all that. You know, I could take pictures of these kids. They look like things off the porno flicks. Enough. I asked the staff, you know, when is this going to stop? And the counselors are like, oh, just give it time. They're bombarded. Well, I suggest you get somebody that's not bombarded, because the kids that are having to do the right thing are being punished for it, being bullied for it. Enough is enough. Also, your subs, they need to get to know the kids. I had a child sitting right here that was marked absent from school, marked absent, sitting in the classroom because the sub called the children that she knew and the rest of them she marked as absent. That's all I have to say. Other than that, thank you all for what you do. Dr. Parker, please, I mean no disrespect at all to you. I'm also the North Carolina State Representative for your loss of innocence. Like, literally, I live this life. But it takes a community, it takes a village, but it also starts with us providing and doing, and we can't, my little cinnamon drops, my little chocolate drops are no different than the little vanilla drops running around. It's done, it's over, and I will take pictures, and I'll submit it to the next board meeting.
Ma'am, excuse me, spell your name, please.
Senoma. Cruiser, Kriser. I have a child today that got put in ISS for wearing a hoodie. Dr. Parker we did find out why he refused to take his hoodie off. He had a haircut over the weekend. This child was a neglected child. He had a haircut. They literally picked on him today at school to where he did not want to take his hoodie off.
And I went in that school because he was defiant to Dr. Parker, and I cut that hoodie and I handed it to Dr. Parker. And then when I found out why, and the teacher allowed it. A sub allowed it. Enough. I wear a bracelet. It's called Robbie's Hope. It's for children who commit suicide. Why? It's bull crap. Thank y'all. And I mean no disrespect at all. Please.
May I just ask you one question without
Yes.
expressing a name here?
Yes.
Is Dr. Parker aware of what substitute that was?
I'm not really sure. Dr. Parker, some stuff came to evidence after Dr. Parker and I had to talk today. He was right. He was with another. That's why I keep telling Miss Ruffin was able to do it because I just left the school too. That's why we were late. Because my child plays football and he was going to be kicked off the team, everything because of this bully kid. And I'm like, no, you want to be disrespectful. That's one thing, and you'll be punished for being disrespectful. And he did apologize to Dr. Ruffin, and he will do his ISS, whatever they call it. However, when you get down to the root of why, and at the same time, the kids, why do I have to do it? There's 10 more kids right there with their hats on.
Mm-hmm.
What is the difference? Let me tell you, I'm a white girl, and I can shoot you just as well as one of my Hispanic children or one of my black children. I don't mean no disrespect.
I understand. Can you provide that name to us, and Dr. Parker?
I can, and we
Before
do
today?
know
Just
the child
without
that
speaking
bullied
it
today as well. We got down to that child as well.
But if you could provide that substitute's name before you leave, just without speaking it here in public.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Nolan, if you don't mind, you help us stay on track here, okay? Thank you.
Miss May.
Oh, yeah. I'm Shannon. I wanted to talk about a couple things. She brought it up about the lunchroom. I have a picture of one of the lunches that they served the kids, which I wouldn't have ate it. It was some carrots, and I guess it was Hot Pocket, but I don't know what it was because it don't look like nothing that nobody should be eating. The children said they can't eat grits because the cafeteria manager at high school said she don't eat grits, so she ain't gonna cook. I'm not understanding that. And then they say parents should be involved. Yeah, parents should be involved, but when you go out there to the school, last year when I went, I had to get escorted to class. I'm not understanding that. If you see me, you know I ain't got a weapon, well, I can't just walk up to school. That's what it's there for. You should be involved. We can't be involved if we can't never go out there. Then, secondly, the bus. When I didn't talk to the bus manager about Miss, what's the woman's name? Miss Barfield. One morning she come at 6:39. One morning she come at 6:45. The children can't talk on the bus. She told the children they can't talk on the bus in the evening or in the morning. So some parents pick their kids up in the evening because she said they can't talk on the bus. But we pay taxes, why they can't talk on the bus? I can understand not being allowed on the bus, but I don't understand why they can't talk on the bus. In the morning, she frees them. In the afternoon, they hot. She got the air conditioner on in the morning, and in the evening, she ain't got nothing on. So one morning, I asked her, well, what time are you planning on coming? Because the first day she came at 7:02. Then, here you come at 6:39, 6:45. So you don't know what time you got to be to the road. Why should I have to go out there at 6:30 just to make sure they get on the bus? Because she don't know if she want to stop. Because if you ain't at the road, she don't stop. I done been to the bus man. We're going to take care of it. When? When are you going to take care of it? We dealt with her all last year, and we doing the same thing again this year. It don't make no sense. Then we was talking about what the children wear to school. Some of the times you need to look at what the staff wear to school. Because some days staff got dresses on above their kneecaps going to school. So why you think the children don't think that's a good idea? They see the teacher do it, so why not let me do it? I'm not understanding. It is always something. And if you go out there, you gotta, I know it's a chain of command. I work at a hospital. I've been there 20 years. I know you gotta go through the process of what. And then like when we had that big thing about the coaches,
The coach gonna say, well, I know your sister, coach, what's his that name? Hampton. You might know my sister, but you don't know me. And your staff cannot talk to kids anyway. Because the staff sneaky. They gonna talk to the kids anyway in the class, but when you gotta go sit in front of the principal with the teacher, it's a different situation. But some of the times it's the staff and not the child.
3 minutes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Austin.
Austin. Yeah, my name is Kia Austin, and I'm here. I want to, reiterate some of the things that they said, but the first thing I want to talk about is I don't like the fact that, I'm no disrespect nobody in here, but I don't care what happens at the school. It's always just like what's his name? Sean. Just like he just said, y'all can talk 3 minutes, but we can't answer back. We never get any feedback about anything we ask. It's always you gotta wait. Then when you go out there, you want to have a meeting, you say the doors is open, come anytime. So you come and this one can't do it, or we in a rush and we rushing today. I mean, you never have time to listen to the parents, but you need more parent involvement. But you don't seem to have the time to listen to what we're saying. And we go out there and tell you this and that, and then after we tell you this, we never hear anything else. If I go out there and complain and say, well, my child told me this, that, and the third, okay, well, we'll look into it. Well, do you ever look into it? Because I personally never heard anything. And I try to go out there every chance I get. And I always hear, we'll get back to you. You never know. And every time a child complains, every time, y'all say that the children is really what this stuff is about. But every time a child complains, 98% of the time, the child is always wrong. Mm-hmm. The staff is always right. They stick together. The principals and the two assistant principals, they stick with their staff. And it's all right to stick with the staff sometimes, but the children ain't always lying. That's not possible. The staff is lying too. The staff is definitely lying. And like that bus situation, my grandkids, she sometimes, she don't want to get on the bus. And this is the older one. She's well married. She don't want to get on the bus because she's scared of the bus driver. Laura Barfield. I feel like these kids, y'all want them to go to school. They got to follow certain decorum and all that kind of stuff. But at lunchtime, sometimes they're punished if they talk to them, play. They punish at lunchtime. You don't really got a whole lot of time to eat anyway. And then they can't sit. If y'all do punishment, so when they go to lunch, you can't sit with this because you can't talk to them. Look. You get time for recess, you got to sit on the wall half the day because you did. That's not right. What kind of punishment? I want to know, because I ain't seen nothing like that kind of punishment in the handbook. Maybe I misread it. But I tried to read the handbook. So what kind of punishment is it, and why are you punishing the kids at the only hour? You don't want them conversating in the classroom because it takes from the learning time. Understandable. But why can't they conversate whoever they want to at lunch? Why can't they conversate on the bus? Why they gotta be standing against the wall on punishment at the time? But yet they have to do a PE. But you get to stand on the wall when it's daytime. I don't understand that. That shouldn't be. And I also want to know, even though I'm saying this, am I ever going to hear anything back? Because this is just like going to the school. And it's a lack of communication. We never know anything. Like those phone calls that came, we already know what happened. We don't know. We only had that little brief. Whatever it was, we never know anything. Come on, last year they said a parent came out there that had locked the school. But do the actual parents know anything about it? No, because the school is keeping it quiet. Different things that happen out there. Well, we come to the next. Yeah, go to the next. Like I and then look at 3 minutes. Can't talk 3 minutes.
It's done.
I'm a bus driver, I'm not going I'm Kara Dunn, and I am an employee of Jones County Schools. I'm a bus driver and I do mediation at Bates Elementary. Here's the thing. I know EC buses are the only one that's putting bus monitors, but the regular buses need monitors too. But this bus driver is tired. This bus driver has 7 pre-K kids. I can't get to sit down. And one in first grade that he needs to go on the EC bus. But either way, I can't watch them, watch my other ones, and watch the roads. I need a monitor. I got 50 kids this year. I need a monitor. Friday, we need more bus drivers too, because Friday I had to do a double route. Took me 2.5 hours to get them kids home. I'm just saying, it's just something to consider when you get when grants, you can get one for a bus monitor. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Pareto? Pareto?
Prado? Are you saying Prado?
Yeah.
Esley?
My name's Esley Proto and I'm in the 11th grade.
My name is Malaysiana Davis. I am also in 11th grade. We just wanted to discuss what my mom already said about like the food and the lack of like resources like the microwaves. There's no microwave. We usually have to ask a specific teacher to let us use microwaves because sometimes we can't warm up our food or be able to eat, and we don't want to eat the school food because it's not good quality. Also the iPad situation is another problem because I have online courses, and which is another problem because the school year was already 3 weeks in when they finally decided to enroll me into the class when they were supposed to have done it before school even started, and now I am like 4 modules behind in my work, and now that I'm trying to do it, now that I've finally been enrolled in the class, I can't get to what I need to because the iPads like have certain things blocked, which is blocking me from actually doing my work, which is another problem. And then when I asked my teacher about it, she told me that I needed to go to IT when that should be her thing to do because she's the teacher and she's the one who assigned it there, not me. So I don't know like what exactly to do about it. I've emailed the people she told me to. I still haven't got a response. Also the dress code thing, I feel like it should be more enforced because if you're going to enforce it on one person, you need to enforce it on everyone. I see people walking around school with crop tops on, their backs out all the time, and these people are on SGA, and that's not fair that just because they're like more known to by teachers and stuff, that they should get to do what they want to. That's all I have to say.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Aisha, I just have a question for you, sweetie, if you don't mind answering. You mentioned that you were late enrolled. What were you late enrolled in?
Math 2 honors.
Is that an LCC class or just honors?
I think it's just an honors class. It's online.
And why were you late? Were you just starting June senior?
Yes,
or-
ma'am. We had been to multiple meetings over the summer about my schedule and stuff, and we had already established when my classes were going to be in during the summer. When I went to school on the first day, my schedule was not complete, even though we had already discussed it in meetings. And when my mom asked about it, they said they just didn't have time because they had other things, like other children that also needed their schedules done as well. And I feel like that's not a good excuse. And then when I had to, on the first day of school, I still didn't know what classes I had. I only knew my first and second period. I had to go to a counselor to get her to get into my third and fourth, and I had to wait because there were literally so many people who still did not get their schedule, and I feel like they had so much time over the summer to do what they needed to get done. But I feel like the school's just not efficient with their time management. That's all.
And may I approach on that about and the counselor's
That's up to you.
defense?
Yeah.
Hold on one second. Hold on one second, please, because that's up to the chair. If you want to permit someone to come back and speak more.
In the counselor's defense, they were overwhelmed. However, the counselor, as soon as this child was out of school, I was enrolling her into Jones County School. We left as she was supposed to start online courses over the summer, so she would be able to do the LCC curriculum as she goes. And the counselor was like, Ms. Creaser, I am so sorry. It was not her fault. I forgot and I did not do the stuff. So now my child, does not get to do the Jones Senior LCC until maybe next year because she couldn't do it over the summer because she said that she got busy in her own life.
Could you leave that name with us privately too?
I will.
And with Dr. Parker. Thank you.
I have it on email. It's not.
or a question, the iPad's locked on the previous, work that you didn't get a chance to do.
No,
Is that an automatic?
no, the websites, pictures, videos that my teacher is assigning, you cannot, like the iPads have blocks for certain websites. You can't click on certain things, you can't go to certain websites. But there are also educational websites that we can't click on. Often when we're in class, our teacher will assign something and we'll click on the link and it'll be blocked. And it's like, that's.
I just wanted to clarify.
Is this an NCVPS class?
Yes, sir.
She has her iPad that she can show y'all later if you would like to see what she's talking about.
So you don't have the laptop anymore, right?
No.
Just the iPad?
Yes, ma'am.
That's it. We're about to enter into closed session. We do thank you for coming. Thank you for your comments.
Thank you.
She's one of the tallest ones I ever had.
What's that smiley face's name again? What's that smiley face's name again?
Unless you, we don't get the best, I'm sure lunches.
I'll be
I
available.
realize that.
I mean, you can do it.
I'm
Law
coming to see
Murphy don't work for me. I just want to make that clear.
I'm coming to see you.
You come on.
First thing.
But Law Murphy was for general stuff. Can that get you into the record? I know that ain't the record. Thanks, y'all. For it.
We need to go in closed session pursuant to General Statute 143, 318, 11A, 185, and A6.
So moved.
2-2.
Who's made a motion?
I make the motion.
I'll second it.
Got a motion and a second, all in favor? We're now in the closed session.
Let's cut off.
Yeah.
Say what I